We are back on the Culture Matters podcast. Behind me, if you're seeing this on YouTube, you can see books. We're reading to think, writing to develop, listening to hear what is unsaid, speaking to let go. We're doing 30 days of thought. Why is this important? I've I have seen time and time again business owners miss it based on a lack of strategy, a lack of planning. That doesn't mean you don't take action. We must take action, but it isn't in either or. But it is not an either or. We have to take action, smart action, diligent action. And 30 days of thought is about that. It's about thinking, reflection, self awareness, strategy. I'm going through the process again for myself and recording it with you. This is 7 days a week, page 48. We're talking, it's one of over 100 excerpts in the book. Lots of thoughts, lots of content. It's an important excerpt because if you're currently an entrepreneur, maybe you're not. Maybe you're working towards something. You're aiming high. You're a part of a culture you admire. You want to get better. 7 days a week is here for you. Here are my thoughts on my thoughts for your thoughts. Picture a vat of butter. Its composite is creamy and textured, smooth and thick. It represents our lives full of richness, experiences, and memories of pleasure that bring us back to better times, but wisdom hindering our souls for the coming future. The future we create. As the butter continues to churn, time continues to pass by. Days go by without a muse. When our head stays down, focused on our given task, our purpose that has been handed down and bestowed upon us by destiny. A purpose forged from a greater vision and of a better life. As the days go by, we forget who we knew. We distract ourselves from the fear of thought while the pain inside stays numb for just a little while longer. The vat of butter, our life, is swirled into its grandest potential or its deepest oblivion. The question is motion. How are we stirring our vat? How are we stirring up our lives and those we touch through our journey? These 7 days will pass regardless, but how will we use them? In all this time, we may not ask these vital questions when all we must spend is 7 days. The answers to these questions are monumental. At death's inevitable door, most will meet the same foe, regret. We will ask ourselves why, what, and how come we didn't try. If only we knew the importance of these 7 days. We can imagine our vat. Our vat is our resource of potential, and it is stirred in congruence with our actions. Unfortunately, due to ignorance, its taste may be foul, but all we can say in our last possible breath will be, I can't believe it's not butter. The truth remains, your butter might not be my butter, but if it fits your criteria of butter, you asked the correct questions, you met the expectations, and you took the actions to complete your task. You applied potent knowledge in your 7 days, and for that, we can turn to those we meet and say it mattered. Our truth created our future. There's a couple things in here. How we do business is something I'm addressing. But first, our vat is our resource of potential, and it is stirred in congruence with our actions. What am I doing in these 7 days? Is it in alignment with what I say I want, who I aspire to become? Are my actions reflecting the things that I talk about with my team, with my customers? Are your actions showing that you really want it? You really mean it? You're all in. Are you all in? If the vat, so the vat is our potential. And what we do stirs that. I don't want to look back on my life and say, I could have stirred better, faster. Did I try? When our head stays down, focused on our given task, our purpose has been handed down and bestowed upon us by destiny. It reminds me, and I had never read this book until 2024, the first book in our book club, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. There's some intuitive alignment here in that book. Am I present? Am I focused on the task? Am I getting better? Is my potential being maximized through my efforts? Am I where am I going to discover my purpose? How am I going to discover my purpose? What relationship does my work have with my purpose? What if my work and how I serve other people, that's a challenge to my values? There's meaning and significance and community as a consequence of serving people. How am I serving people? Have I forgotten how important my customers are? What am I doing in these 7 days a week? Am I really as good as I think I am? Maybe I could be a lot better. Maybe I'm not as good at what I do as I think I am. And there's a tension in getting better at what it is that I do in relation to helping others get better, or like, right, the mentor attracting mentees. I have to always be careful not to lose what's the competence that attracted the mentees in the first place. And in that case, maybe that's the employees that admire the service or the product that I'm providing to the marketplace. If I'm a business owner, I can't let myself get too soft. You want to get out of the way so that people can come in line and take your place, in the sense of, what does someone bring to the table when they're an employee? Their labor, their time, their creativity, their thought. What's that dynamic between the mentor and the mentee? So the mentee does not feel let down by the mentor. The mentor gets out of the way, but at the same time is close enough to where the mentee can continue to rise. How do we reconcile this paradox of only being able to be in one place, of two different objects not being able to occupy the same space? That would be the mentor and the mentee, the partners, the relationship, communication, values. Well, what if what we're aiming towards has a relationship with our communication and our values? Now, if I'm told everyone on the team, hey, I'm aiming towards this, and my actions aren't backing that aim up, it's on them. They're either gonna think that I'm a weak leader, I'm a hypocrite, I'm not one to respect. They'll think it and speak it, or they'll think it and not say anything. If they think it and speak it, that doesn't mean I necessarily will listen. If they think it and don't say anything, who are they on the team of? Well, they're on their own team more than the company's team. Then one could argue, well, what's the chicken or the egg on that? Well, how much of an influence do I have over that? Maybe they're on their own team versus more than the company, because if you're in the position of ownership, maybe you're not even engaged in your own business. I'm not even my own company's team. So responsibility is modeled. People are going to model what they see. 7 days a week. I remember writing this and being tired and stressed and resentful and overwhelmed and anxious. And I guess the point is, we're going to use our 7 days a week. They're happening. What days are you resting? What days aren't you? How are you showing up? Am I all in? But the vat is our potential, and whatever's in that vat that's being stirred up will be a consequence of our lives' work. And somewhere in that is purpose. There's something I underlined here. About halfway in, a purpose forged with a greater vision and of a better life. As the days go by, we forget who we knew. We distract ourselves from the fear of thought while the pain inside stays numb for just a little while longer. Speaking to there's this something, there's going to be a period of alienation. There's going to be a period of leaving home, either literally or metaphorically. It's like, talk about the entrepreneur. We start the business. You're starting something. In the beginning, it's just a thought. It's just your word on the line and your actions to back it up. There's a period of alienation. And at some point, that servanthood, hopefully this, the service to the customer, what it took to be all in for the customer, doesn't obfuscate the responsibility of the original service provider, product producer has for their people, like those that work for the organization. Okay. And the question is motion. How are we stirring our vat? How are we stirring up our lives and those we touch through the journey? These 7 days will pass regardless. Here's some questions I wrote down. Ask questions. Take action. How will we use our time? Working is not thinking. How are we stirring? So when businesses start, they start out of instinct and impulse and reaction. There's even the vision is oftentimes implicit. Even it's felt. It's less clear, but there's some type of there's a buy-in from whoever's let's say customers of products or services. They're buying into this. They're seeing value. As a business evolves, that intuition, that salesmanship, that culture between the founder and the customers becomes strained, as there's only so much time and space, and now there's other people that will have to be involved. The same wisdom that it took to get to that point of tension, where now there's customers and employees, doesn't correlate with the skills and experience necessary to lead people, to manage people. Serving someone that's paying is different than leading someone that's getting paid. And learning how to lead is a life's journey that I think has a relationship. Well, of course it has a relationship with our life, because we're all in the business of being a part of a community, a society where we have choices to who we're marry and to have kids or not to have kids, and how to engage with our families. I guess there's an implicit claim in this that I think I am, business can teach us about who we are and help us become better people. So 7 days a week, our vat is our resource of potential, and it is stirred in congruence with our actions. I feel like it's taken all these years since having written this for me to feel confident in how I'm using my 7 days a week. And the excitement there is that I know I'm going to get better. And you applied potent knowledge in your 7 days, and for that we could turn to those we met and say it mattered. Yes, culture matters. See you next time on 30 Days of Thought. See you next time on the Culture Matters podcast. We're on page 48, 49. Please leave us a review on the Culture Matters podcast. See you later.